Fallout is set in a lawless wasteland where the only thing that matters is survival. But what if you spat in the face of corruption and abided by a set of non-existent laws in a world where everything wants you dead? Can you beat Fallout New Vegas without breaking any laws? Probably not. There are a lot of conflicting sources for what's considered a crime, from IRL laws in Nevada to the crime statistics in the Pip-Boy to the NCR's jurisdiction. Therefore, it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to fairly judge each of my actions against what is legal. I will try my best to take aspects from NCR law, real law, and in-game law to dispatch justice around the Mojave. Keep in mind that this challenge does not mean I have to stop all lawlessness, just that I, as an individual, have to not perform any illegal actions. And yes, I said individual, no companions. With all that out of the way, let's begin. After recovering from a bad migraine, I remember my name, Deputy Ass Kick. I went for the stereotypical douchey cop look, and then assigned my special stats. 4 strength for weapon handling, 6 perception for the better criticals perk, 6 endurance so I can take some punishment, 1 charisma, 6 intelligence for skill points, 7 agility for action points, and 10 luck for critical hits and gambling. And yes, since the courier is presumably a legal adult, gambling is legal. I could also technically drink alcohol, but I decided against it just to be safe. For my tag skills, I went with speech to talk my way out of violence, guns for when speech isn't applicable, and repair to counteract built to destroy, which I got for more critical hits. I also got good-natured, cause, I respect the law. I then turned the game to very hard with hardcore mode enabled, and since Doc Mitchell doesn't seem to mind, I borrow everything from his house. Hey, if he doesn't object and the game doesn't consider it stealing, who am I to pass up all this stuff? I do make sure to leave behind all addictive chems, as they are illegal to use or possess. I enter Chet's store and sell some of my DLC items to buy a shovel, but then I realized, oh wait, grave robbing is illegal, so I laid the shovel to rest. For once, I don't kill Joe Cobb as soon as I see him, and head straight to Ringo. I only managed to convince Trudy, but the battle still goes pretty swimmingly. Now I should go over how combat is going to work. If someone attacks me first, I can defend myself. If they run away, I can't kill them unless they try to kill me again. All this basically means is no sneak attacks, which I can live with. As I head to Prim, I get stopped by an NCR trooper and decide to talk to Lieutenant Hayes. I then get attacked by some convicts, whom I dispatch in self-defense. One of them runs away, so I don't kill him just yet. Everyone in the Vicky and Vance casino starts saying their sleep paralysis demons, the sight of which levels me up. I try to even out my skills to multiples of 5 for some reason, and pick Rapid Reload as my perk. The convict that was fleeing earlier tries to blow me to Kingdom Come, so I pummel him until he stops moving. I also take an important holotape off a dead courier. Here's the deal. Looting bodies is prohibited unless I can make a point of it being evidence. I was shot in the head and left for dead, so I think this holotape could be considered part of an investigation. Heading inside the Bison Steve, I act in self-defense against some convicts.
Bing bing bong bong.
Nice.
So I can rescue Deputy Beagle from within. He tells me to tell Hayes about Prim, who tells me to tell Knight to send troops to Prim. Phew, that was a mouthful. I head off to the Mojave outpost, defending myself from some convicts and looting an abandoned shack. Looting items isn't illegal unless the game marks them as stealing, as it's classified as salvage without an owner to steal from. On the way to Nipton, I get nibbled by a Night Stalker, torn apart by some jackals, and for once, don't kill Oliver Swanick on sight. Instead, I just watch as he helplessly cowers from the aforementioned raiders before going into a house. I have a discussion with Volpez about legality.
As are all crimes. If you feel strongly about it, attack us, and soon you won't feel a thing.
And then spread word of his atrocities. Thoughts of crucified bodies and burning tires is just what I need to level up, putting points into barter, gun, sneak, and speech. Leveling my barter allows me to convince Knight to send NCR to Prim, finally restoring law and order to the desolate town. Talking to Beagle puts me on the road to Novak, where I swat a fly and fend off a powderganger hit squad. The smell of fresh blood on my machete levels me up yet again, where I increase medicine and speech and pick Swift Learner as my perk. On the way to Novak, I put a centaur out of its misery, almost get blown up by some vipers, kill a mole rat, and conjure every ounce of my will to not slice Malcolm Holmes into pieces for interrupting me. After talking to Manny, I decide to clean up a few ants with the gun Sunny Smiles lent me.
Say goodbye to daily stains and dirty surfaces with new kitchen gun! action gun!
and give Ranger Jackson the good news. At RepCon, some ghouls give me trouble, so I send them to the great beyond.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Since feral ghouls attack on sight and don't have sentience, I think it's more than fair to defend myself against them. I don't have enough supplies to take them all out, so I go on a trek to the strip. On the way, I use lethal force against some vipers attempting to do the same to me. Stop at a gas station for resources, talk to the son of the mysterious stranger in misfortune, do some trading with a lady who knows nothing about gun safety, and make Veronica available as a companion. I'm not going to use her just yet as it would be against the rules, but we'll come back to her later. Arriving in Freeside, I get jumped by some thugs and use more than reasonable force against them until they give up.
I'm joking! Stop! 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 Stop the brake! Stop! Stop! Stop!
I then go to the Atomic Wrangler to my vices overtaking me levels me up, where I put points into medicine, speech, and guns. I then get nibbled by Night Stalkers again, before witnessing the only generic raider not part of a gang. Fun fact. Some vipers get their revenge, and I kill some bark scorpions for experience. I then get that gun. Which gun? That gun, you know, the one from Fallout 1. I have a feeling this bad boy will carry me through the rest of the playthrough. That gun proves its worth by wasting some ferals outside RepCon.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
Which I then head inside to clear out. After talking to some ghouls who want me to join their MLM scheme, I get clobbered by some raiders before using a combination of grenades, mines, and a hasty trigger finger to take them out. I also do a little bit of big game hunting, and before you ask, no, this isn't illegal. The concept of hunting season and a hunting license doesn't exist anymore. I then pick up some cool shades before cheesing some ghouls on a fence and, as karma, running out of ammo. I only have one option here, run like a little baby. At least I have my badass cop look halfway nailed down. I test out a revolver I just bought on an oversized car insurance mascot, which levels me up, bringing up my guns, speech, and repair and getting me the gunslinger perk. I was curious, so I console committed myself into Silas's cell to see what would happen. Nothing much, although I did find some oddities.
I'll spill your guts all over this room.
I then let Julie Farkas fix my broken limbs, gamble until I had enough money to pass the credit check, get absolutely violated for even thinking about the monorail, saw if there was any unique dialogue if you came in with no weapons, there's not, show off my new drip, and level up at the mere sight of Chandler Bing's power, leading to an increase in speech and repair. Speaking of Matthew Perry, I convinced Swank to let me see him in private, level up from his magnificence once again, increasing repair and guns and getting me the light touch perk, and then protect myself from some hired goons. I can finally start the NCR questline with my first assignment, getting the boomers on our side. But first, I start a little quest to bring some justice to the wicked. Captain Parker says some people have gone missing, so I do a little civil asset forfeiture and find out that both Dermot and St. James are selling slaves to the fiends. This isn't illegal as it's evidence and part of an investigation. When confronted, they both attack me and I defend myself in turn. I also take Dermot's police hat for evidence as well. To be fair, he probably stole it from a police station anyway. With my uniform finally complete, I report my findings to Captain Parker's and level up from the sheer justice, increasing speech, repair, and barter. On the way to the boomers, I pick up one of the absolute worst and most useless weapons in video game history, the lowly Abalone Kid LE BB gun. I doubt this thing could even kill a baby rat doge overdosing on Psycho. I then make a little wager with George, who I never managed to find again, and put his notes to good use in getting through the bombardment. Mostly. I then listened to Pete explain FNAF lore for 5 hours, read a magazine to help one of the injured boomers, exterminated some ants with my new toy.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I take back my previous statement. Forgot where the ant mound is until there's literally one left, Talk to Janet, talk to Pearl, talk to Jack, talk to Janet again, talk to McLafferty, and saw what would happen if I followed Janet to the base. Hint, nothing interesting. The love between these two caused me to level up, where I added points to repair and medicine and took finesse as my perk. I fixed some solar panels, went bighorner hunting, got my personal space violated by a 60s horror movie costume, raised the lady from the water, and reported the good news to Ambassador Crocker. Next up is the Kings. Even with NCR permission, I'm not going to assassinate Pacer, since committing murder wasn't on my to-do list for today. Instead, I talked to the King about it and decided to take out the Nightkin for Mr. MLM. Since they aren't technically people, I have no legal qualms about this. Stealth Boys and the Abilene Kid BB gun make for a disgusting combo, dishing out crits like no tomorrow. After reporting back to Lightbulb, I gamble some more at Gamora, tell Crocker that the King won't cooperate, talk to Zoo about diplomacy, and watch as Pacer royally fucks everything up with his outburst. Hey, I didn't pull the trigger, so I'm just gonna slowly back away into Crocker's office and tell him how things went down.
Good, good. Shu's a man you can count on to handle a crisis. I'm just glad that things didn't end in violence.
Next stop, the Great Khans. The smile on my face I get when I make Cook turn on his own men levels me up, letting me increase speech to 100 and put a few points into guns. I then use some geckos and bighorners as target practice.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, cow.
Before heading into Red Rock Canyon, where I talk to Regis about breaking Papa Khan's alliance with the Legion. I get Carl to wet his pants in front of the boss, which in Great Khan culture is punishable by execution, and tell Melissa that the Legion are big stinky misogynists that wouldn't let her join. Don't worry, I don't deliver her illegal drugs. Speaking of illegal drugs, I tell Jack that his hobby of cooking new ones wouldn't fly in the Legion, find a Legion slave ledger, and finally convince Papa Khan that, yeah, maybe these guys aren't the best allies after all. The emergers are dealt with normally, so I won't bother going over them. I have to steal Kachino's journal, but it's part of an investigation, so it doesn't count. I also have to kill the other bosses, but considering they were planning to kill everyone else on the strip, I think it's more than fair to defend myself. Next is Mr. House, where I hit a legal gray area. I'm invited into his house, but going into his secret chambers is technically trespassing, and I have to hack into his terminal to get in. To make matters worse, I leave him there to die from infection, which is kinda like unplugging an old man's life support. I'm just gonna say that since the NCR ordered me to do this, it's not illegal, since they're the closest thing to an official government after the war. Now it's time to deal with the Brotherhood, which is where Veronica gets to shine. Don't worry, I make sure she doesn't damage any enemies along the way. She gives me easy access to their bunker, where I speak with the Elder and get a mission to recover 3 missing teams from around the Mojave. Why is it always 3 things? Why not 2 or 4? I find one face down in centaur shit, one having a 6th grade field trip in science class, and another who wagered with George. Never wager with George. Then the Elder asked me to find another 3 Brotherhood personnel. Here we go. After that long and arduous journey, I'm asked to find 3 filtration components. Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah, I'm just skipping over this stuff. Just know that I negotiated a truce between the Brotherhood and the NCR, and we'll leave it at that. Our next mission is to stop the president from being assassinated, since the NCR figures the morale boost of his arrival is worth the chance of him dying, which would absolutely destroy morale. Makes sense to me. I take care of a Legion spy, disarm the bomb on the vertibird, and watch as the Legion spy fails to go quietly. My reverence for our country levels me up, increasing my guns to 100. 100 guns is going to be useful since it's time for the Battle of Hoover Dam. The Legion are no match for my Blade Runner gun and Christmas toy, but their super sledges and rifles hit like a truck. Nevertheless, I managed to dispatch a hot, steaming dose of justice.
Bad boys, what you gonna gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
But as Confucius once said, use your speech skill, you stupid fuck. So I talked the Terror of the East into submission, and probably didn't beat Fallout New Vegas without breaking the law. I'm gonna be honest, this really wasn't about the challenge. I ran a pretty decent crit pistol / light armor build with high speech, repair, and medicine, making for a pretty simple time even on hardcore very hard mode. No, this is more of a test. I want you to find out where I broke the law in this video and which law I broke, and throw it in the comments below. I'll put everyone's observations at the end of the next video. Get hunting, detectives! Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, or comment below. Constructive criticism and suggestions for a new challenge run are appreciated. With any luck, your ideas might make it into the next video. This is Causal Loop, signing off. Peace.